Hello friends, it's Miss Emma. I'm going to tell you the story of the speech sound Pics approach. Where did the speech sound King's code come from? What happened? This is the story of the speech sound King's code, the tales of the magic ant. It's all about sending the ant to the prince far, far away, but the king had to send a message, and there were no telephones at that time. The speech sound king found an ant one day. It was digging in the garden, growing corn. He realized the ant was not an ordinary ant as he watched him with his hoe on the lawn. The next day the king watched the ant with a rock as he carried it a mile on his own. Never had he seen an ant with such powers, such a big, heavy rock, but not a moan. Then he discovered why the ant was so strong. He had built his own gym at the farm. He could move heavy weights, run a mile a minute, lift his body up and down with one arm. Can you do that? The king had a son who lived far, far away, so he summoned his helper called Stan. He wanted to send to the prince right away the ant with a snack in a pan. That snack's a bit big, isn't it? How would the prince know to keep the lid shut? Stop the ant jumping, make him stay. He needed to send him a message. He needed a code right away. Speech sounds, he exclaimed as he thought of his message. Ant in pan. I use 5 different sounds, an a and a n and a I and p. He marched, thinking hard with a frown. If I draw speech sound lines and number them too, the prince might be able to see the message I've written with pics of my sounds, a new writing system. Yippee! His brain is on fire. If he follows the sounds and then says the word, he can work out the message, you see, and then he can add to the code so he can write a note which he'll send back to me. Oh, how exciting. Ant in pan. So this is the story of how the King's Book was written, a story so very exciting. A code you can crack if you try, but you first need your own dictionary. We're going to take pictures of speech sounds, and we're going to check the Speech Sound King's Code Book, Code Mapping Book, the dictionary, to see the sound pictures in the word. And don't forget, those sound pictures map with the Speech Sound King's speech sounds. They might not always be the same as yours. You might not say ant like the Speech Sound King or like I do. You might say int or int. You might use different speech sounds. So we're going to explore that, but keep going back to the King's Code. The dictionary. Oh, look, the A is a picture of a different sound there, not the A. To write every word that we say speaking English, he sorted the clouds for each sound, and now he is asking if you can join in and tell us of new ones you've found. So that's what we're going to think about. What are the speech sounds you use? What are the pictures? Grown-ups call them graphemes, but we think of them as speech sound pictures, speech sound pics. So I want you to think about the sounds, but remember the sound pictures for the words are always the same because the king decided on that mapping and put it in his book, the dictionary. The speech sound camera monster takes pictures of speech sounds. This is my speech sound camera, but you could make one. Now, to help our brains identify those speech sounds, we use our duck hands. Left to right, like the speech sound lines, and don't forget to sweep. We sweep all those sounds together to blend into the word.
Hands. Bye. Bye. Don't forget to duck hands. Bye. Bye.
Now the king didn't know that his monsters would hear the speech sounds we use when we talk. Then some got together despite horrid weather and drew lots of clouds with their chalk. More monsters arrived, all wanting a cloud. They settled and started to draw. But there's always one who can't sit on his bum and who needs to get up for a roar. Monster Puh. What all of you need, said Miss Emma, indeed, is a cloud that is yours, not a share. Then when you've found the pics for your sound, all the children will know that they're there. So all monsters rose and Miss Emma chose one cloud for each one of the crew. Stan helped her out so that Puh wouldn't shout. And now all that is needed is you. You make it fun while you listen for sounds and start mapping wherever you look. But the sound Pics King used in every word cannot change from the ones in his book. Suppose you mapped plat. So you did 4 speech lines and the monster sat there too. Can you see? The speech sound camera, who always comes after, would tell you it's P-L-A-I-T. You couldn't choose others to sit on the lines. The speech sound king would give you a look. He would tell you to check, as it has to be right, and to do that you look in the book. It's the code mapping book, the dictionary. It's your sound pick checking book. P-L-A-T, plat. There are the monsters, standing on the right speech sound lines. And if the magic speech sound camera takes the pictures of those 4 speech sounds, what would the pictures look like for that word according to the book? What does the picture look like? There you go. There's the picture for P in the word plat. What about the speech sound ooh? What does the picture look like if we take the picture of the speech sound ooh in the word plat? There it is. That's the picture for ooh in the word plat. Monster ah. You say ah. What's the picture for the ah speech sound in this word? There it is. It's an AI. So we've got the pictures for p, ooh and ah. We need the t, which is the picture for the speech sound t in the word plat. P, ooh, ah, t. Show us the picture. There it is. We've spelt the word plat using the monsters and the pictures of those speech sounds for that word. The speech sound Pics, and that's why it's called the Speech Sound Pics Approach. SSP.
So while you're exploring the code you're learning to read and spell, you'll have spelling clouds on your walls. You might have a spelling cloud keyring you take everywhere, or a spelling cloud mat. Lots of spelling clouds to explore the code and see if you can find ones we've not already found, because I spent 10 years with children in Australia working out which of the sound pics the speech sound king used. We kept checking the dictionary and we wrote poems. Bam, bam, bam went the hammer. Bam, bam, bam went the mouse. Stop, 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 said the speech sound lamb, and the cat ran away to her house. So if we write stories and poems and try to use those sound pictures, it brings it to life and makes it more fun. There's the spelling cloud for the sound and there's monster Oh, that's monster g. It's not every day that goldfish swim away from a ghost on a hot air balloon, and if that made you giggle, then look in the middle. There's a hen in a dish with a spoon. Can you see 7 at the bottom? Is this his song? If not, he needs to move along. Oh, another one. Oh, and this is the letter G as well, but this time the G is a picture for the sound J. Now this is Jimmy, who has a twin brother called Pat. You're going to see Pat in the green level wrap. His pants fall down. Pants is another word for trousers. I wonder if Jimmy's pants are going to fall down when there are ants in his pants. Let's find out. Jimmy, the large, gentle giant, couldn't help but frown. He needed to adjust his belt before his pants fell down. Oh! Jimmy and Pat do have trouble with those ants in their pants. Oh, ants in pants. That's very similar to ant in pan, the message the king wanted to send. Can you think of what the difference is? What are the different sounds? Let me know. Now, if you're in an SSB classroom, at least once a week you'll play speech sound detective. You'll bring boxes in, or you'll have a look at your snacks. Like, look at this, J-L-E, jelly. I can hear the J. That's the first picture in jelly, J-L-E, jelly, and it's a J. What about in midget gems? Oh, I can hear it twice. So this is what we do. We explore and check the clouds. Now we're using our duck cans and thinking of the speech sounds and the sound pictures. But did you hear what I did? Here we've got the J spelling cloud and the J speech sound monster. But in the word jelly, the picture for J is a J, and the picture for J in midget gems is a G. And I had to give you the letter names so you would know what I was saying. That's when we use letter names as labels. So when you start to use the spelling clouds in a dictionary, that's when you'll use the letter names. That's the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You probably know that already. So think of the sounds, think of the speech sound pictures, and we use letter names for labels so people know which sound picture you're talking about. And as you'll already know, probably from watching this, letters don't map with sounds until they're in a word. So monster map with me. Monster. App. Mapping. Monster mapping. So we're really thinking about the speech sounds. Each monster has their own speech sound. The sound pictures. And we're putting them all together so we can send messages, we can write messages, and we can also read the messages other people are sending to us. See you again soon, friends. Toodaloo!